Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name's Landon, and here we play Jank. And today I want to talk about the Pokemon trading card game Pocket that was just announced during the Pokemon Day live stream, right? And it's an interesting game, and there's a lot of confusion about this from what I'm seeing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to jump over to another screen and share with you some parts in the trailer that stood out to me, and this one being one of them. Clearly, this is a Pokemon battle that is happening right now, right? And it seems like your normal Pokemon battle, except the bench is a lot smaller. We don't see any prize cards, and these trainers' hands are flooded with Pokemon. We see one trainer, and I'm assuming that's Pokeball. And that's it. It's down here in the right next to the window here. Right next to the window, you can see that hand, there's a Pokeball in that hand. And frankly, I just don't understand what's happening. It looks like one person's taken one prize, another person's taken two. How does this display? I don't know. Looks like chess clock sort of things where each turn is timed. But yeah, it's an app where you can play the Pokemon trading card game, but we already have an app that can play the Pokemon trading card game. So I am very confused by this, and so are a lot of people. Not only that, but we also see a lot of cards here, like this Charizard EX with 180 hit points that looks more like a Charizard EX Big EX, not Little EX, that wouldn't evolve, that wouldn't be a Stage 2. Let me see if I can find the actual Charizard EX. That would have been smart of me to pull up beforehand, right? Sorry. Charizard EX. I don't know if this is working. So, while that's loading or whatever it's doing, not responding, yeah, this Charizard EX doesn't look like a Charizard EX we have seen. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what this means going forward. Oh, that's it exactly. I found it. It exactly. Check this out. Look. 180 HP, Charizard Big E, Big X. That fire, he's grabbing onto the frame. Oh, it's not exact, but like Slash is almost Wing Attack there. And then Crimson Storm is almost Combustion Blast, right? So that's kind of weird. 180 HP is low for a Stage 2 EX. So I'm not 100% sure what this is really trying to accomplish. We do have these fancy cards where you can like go deeper into the photo on the card, and it like does this whole like diorama thing that you can explore, which is fun, but like I don't know, feels like a gimmick that will get old very fast, you know? Yeah, like here we can see the whole diorama, and it goes and you see this Caterpie and this Ponyta that weren't visible on the card before, and it's really cool and everything. There's a Charizard pack that they're opening. I love that Meowth. Honestly, love that Meowth. But like, I'm just confused on what the point is of this. We already have an app where we can play the Pokemon trading card game, where we can collect cards, where we can, do what we want with the game. This is a different game. If I go back to the battle screen here, this is a different game completely. It honestly reminds me a lot of the My First Battle cards that came out, where it's simplified, it's easier for people to get into, and it removes a lot of the depth that Pokemon has. This feels like they're trading a deep experience for a shallow one. You may be able to reach a wider audience with a shallower experience, but will you be able to retain them if they're not being challenged, if they're not discovering more depth because there is no more depth. So Pokemon Pocket is sitting in a weird position. And with that, I kind of want to go over and explain a few things. So let me get out of this so I'm less distracted by that. I'll just stare at my face recording. That's not distracting. So Pokemon TCG Pocket is being developed by Creatures Inc., the Pokemon Company in Japan, and DNA, a digital mobile game developer that they've partnered up with before. I think it was with Pokemon Masters, and I think Nintendo's done some stuff with them, like Mario Kart Tour and Animal Crossing and whatnot. So we've got Pokemon TCG Pocket coming from there, right? Pokemon TCG Live is being developed at the Pokemon Company International, a US-based company. They're kind of all over, really. They've got headquarters everywhere, I believe. But the development is happening in the US. How do I know that? Because I used to be in the video game industry, and while I was looking for jobs, I saw that Pokemon Company International was hiring game designers, and they were converting some people they already had into game designers. I saw that on LinkedIn and whatnot, and I found that very interesting. And then when Pokemon TCG Live was announced, I was like, oh, that's why. Got it. 100% understanding. But it feels like these two different entities are not communicating well. And Pokemon TCG Live is trying to deliver the deep experience that we have come to expect from the Pokemon game worldwide, because it's just the card game in a digital format. Whereas Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket seems like it's a simplified experience, going to target the more casual audience, but not be able to retain them. And the worst part in my opinion, is that they are teaching how to play the game incorrectly. That was my issue with my first Pokemon battle thing. And there were plenty of comments saying that they had it with their kids, and their kids loved it, and it was so easy for them to get into. And that's fantastic. And if it can do that on a wider scale, being in a digital, thing, I'm all for it. But right now, it just seems like it's a swing and a miss, right? It feels like, sorry, I'm going to try to pull something up. But it feels like they're trying without committing. You know what I mean? They're not committing to the deep experience that we've come to expect. They're delivering something else entirely, really. I guess it's all in this, maybe? Is that it? Is it just the logo? Is that all we... Sorry. I'm going to keep scrolling, looking to see if we get anything else. It looks like we do have some card art that I can show off. And we've got that picture, which I kind of already showed off. So, yeah, that's just a Pokemon card. Like, I don't understand the point of Pokemon TCG Pocket. How is that going to help the wider audience? And I also have had comments when I've put this out on YouTube, comments on the official revealing and on PTCG Radio's video, because I love that guy. Highly recommend you check out his YouTube content. People have compared it to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a way different beast, right? We can all agree on that, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very different than Pokemon, just like it's very different than Magic the Gathering. These are all completely different beasts. Also, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh's Speed Duels was a smaller format, similar to my first Pokemon, where they removed a couple zones, like 2 monster zones and 2 magic zones, spell zones, whatever they call it now, to try to make it easier to jump in. It was smaller decks and that kind of stuff. So it is very reminiscent of what Pokemon Pocket is trying to do. However, Pokemon Duel Links, which is connected to the Speed Duels, was released first. Then Master Duel came out. And beyond that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was getting like yearly installments in video games. It was not weird for a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Game to be releasing, right? Where in Pokemon, we've had one Pokemon TCG online app. They just came out with their second one. It just finally left beta like last year, right? And now they're coming out with a third one already. That feels fast. That feels a little odd to me. So you've got these two separate entities inside the Pokemon company, sort of. And it feels like they're not communicating, because if Pokemon Pocket was known to be in development, what the heck is Pokemon TCG Live for? Why not just keep the Pokemon TCG Online going for this Pocket game to come out, get a bunch of people actively playing and excited about Pokemon, the casual audience, and then be like, hey, we've got this new one that's coming out that's more like the official card game, that has deeper experiences for those looking for more out of Pocket, right? So, like, it just feels like there's miscommunications happening, or there's no communication happening, which is where I would argue is probably happening. I don't know this for sure, but as far as I know, Pokemon TCG Live is not available in Japan. I could be wrong about that. So, like, you know, it could just be that, like, Japan believes it's its own entity and it can do whatever it wants, and international is like, hey, we want to cut back our budget from the company that was working on PTCG Online, and we want to make our own thing. Cool, great, sounds wonderful, right? There's been speed bumps, right? It hasn't been a smooth building of this app. Hey, Pokemon, if you need a game designer, I really need a job. So I'm not 100% sure where Live is going to fit in this ecosystem, where Pokemon Company is pushing Pokemon Pocket, similar to how they push Masters, Cafe, Unite, Go. Like, Go's kind of a special thing. But, you know, they push those things. You never see, like, Pokemon TCG Live being talked about in these big presentations, because it's not a Japanese developed game. It's not a Japanese developed entity. It is not the Pokemon Company in Japan developing it, right? So they don't give it any press or anything. So yeah, I don't know what else to say, really. I just want to clarify how there's two different entities making this, and then on top of that, this is very different than the Yu-Gi-Oh! Situation, where Duel Links came out before Master Duel. Duel Links was, hey, you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On mobile? Well, it's a faster experience here. It's easier to get into, all that stuff. That casual market, right? And then Master Duel comes out and goes, hey, are you wanting a deeper, richer experience than Duel Links can offer? Master Duel's gotcha. And so it's weird, like, how this seems to be the flip of it. And it's like, hey, here's this deep, rich experience of Pokemon TCG Live. And then they come out with, hey, here's this casual experience if you don't want to bother with the deep, rich experience. And it's like, that's backwards. Anyways, I would love to hear your thoughts on this new announcement. What did you think of the Pokemon Day presentation overall? I'm super excited for Pokemon Legends Zygarde. We know it's Zygarde. It's Z, taking place in Luminous City, which is Gen 6, which is Zygarde. We know it's Zygarde, right? I'm super excited for it because XY never got their third installation in the series, so this is kind of feeling like it's going to fill in some of those gaps. Maybe that spooky girl that, like, shows up and then disappears and no one ever talks about it again, maybe that will be connected in this. I don't know, there's a lot of Gen 6 stuff. I love Gen 6. Gen 5, worst generation so far. Fight me in the comments. But no, seriously, what did you think of the Pokemon Day presentation? Because I'm mixed. I love Pokemon Legends. I think it's great that they're continuing that series. I was really hoping to hear a Pokemon Let's Go Johto because I really enjoyed that experience as well. Speaking of casual experiences, right? But I think that would have been a fun way to remake Gen 2 without it being a full remake, because we're expecting the Gen 5 remake to be the next full remake they do. And then there was just a bunch of announcements for their smaller games. There wasn't really, like, Pokemon Legends Zygarde isn't until 2025. So yeah, just let me know down in the comments. If you want more content like that, let me know. But I am preparing for a trip. I'm going to be gone for almost a week. I'm going to record one more video about a deck that I built, and it's a popper deck, so be sure to check it out. And hopefully that will keep you guys satisfied until I make it back home from these long drives I'm going to make. And yeah, I'm going to Emerald City Comic Con. If you're going to go there, let me know in the comments. We'll try to meet up, say hi. That'd be great. But I don't really expect to meet anyone there. I'm going for Critical Role. Heck yeah. And thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that nonsense. And of course, until next time, keep playing Jank.